日本語にはすごく便利な言葉があります。それぞれという言葉です。英語にしようとするとね、意外と失敗する人が多いんです。でもね、それほど大きなミスではないということで、会話の中で流してしまうことがよくあります。生徒さんが一生懸命英会話を頑張ってるとね、そういうちょっとしたポイントで会話を止めるのはちょっと難しいです。自分にとってはね、なんかかわいそうというか、なんか難しい自分にとってはもっと厳しくやらなきゃね。しかし今回は皆さんしっかり理解してもらえるように、あえてこのテーマを、研究ポイントとして取り上げました。一緒に頑張っていきましょう。This is a topic I've been wanting to look into in more detail for some time now. We'll analyze the problem, the reason, the solution, and some example sentences. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First, let's look at the problem. The students introduced each to the class. The students introduced each to the class. Straight from the get-go, we can all tell that there is something seriously wrong with this sentence. It needs to be rushed to the emergency room ASAP. All right, I know I'm being a touch OTT, but I wanted to grab your attention. For years now, I've wondered why so many of my Japanese students learning English have a lot of trouble saying sorezore naturally in English. It always seems to just come out wrong. There's got to be a reason. How are things, Bob? Same old, same old. You? Nothing much to report, I suppose. Actually, come to think of it, me and Barbara won a prize. Congrats! What did you win? A jet ski. A jet ski? Awesome! You know the jet ski brand Sea-Doo? Yeah, they're very popular. Well, me and Margaret each other sent in postcards, like to win a prize. You each other sent in postcards? Yeah, I sent in a postcard and she sent in a postcard. Ah, so that's what you meant. Sorry, I must have been half asleep. So they're getting delivered today. We're each other getting one. Cool. Each other. As a native Japanese speaker, did you understand what I was trying to say? I've got a sneaking suspicion that you got the gist of it. But a native speaker might not understand what was going on in that conversation right away. It's kind of a confusing way to speak. So, why do so many people get tripped up on this point? Well, it all comes down to the way the languages work differently. Sorezore is what linguists call a contextually flexible word that doesn't have a perfect one-to-one English equivalent. Therefore, it needs multiple English translations depending on the situation. Naturally, this forces translators to choose from several options rather than having one clear answer. Each, when referring to individual items. Respectively, when matching items in order. Every single one, for emphasis. Their own or individually when talking about personal differences. Various or different when emphasizing diversity. But here's the thing, a lot of my students naturally find themselves using each. Sure, it's a good option, but it's not the best option every single time. It shouldn't be your go-to, because that's where the problems start. My go-to, 自分の中の定番. Merit is my go-to shampoo. Vanilla is my go-to ice cream flavor. Apparently the word sorezore in Japanese carries a cultural nuance about a certain uniqueness, you know? or separate consideration that doesn't really translate directly. So an example of this would be this exquisite Japanese sentence. In English, we might say, every snowflake is unique. But the Japanese emphasizes the eachness very clearly. That's a point to consider. In terms of grammar, the Japanese sorezore can apparently be used as an adverb, a noun, or as part of various grammatical constructions, which makes it very difficult to pin down the exact English equivalent needed. It's a tough one, and that's why so many people get mixed up when they try to use it in English. So let's break it down into the different ways it can be used. Now, I'm sure you're going to be familiar with all the words and expressions that I'm going to be talking about, but the key point is using them correctly and choosing the right one for the right time. Point 1. Let's start off with each. Each. Each Nissan. Oh, stop it. Okay, now. So the most important thing to remember here is that you're referring to individual things or people. What's the most common mistake? I found that Japanese speakers tend to place each in the wrong position in the sentence. That's because sorezore can be placed more freely in a Japanese sentence, whereas in English, it's not quite so flexible. Let's take this example. The students brought each their lunch. 学生たちはそれぞれお弁当を持ってきた。So the sorezore part fits comfortably in the middle, of the sentence. But when Japanese speakers translate the word directly, the word order directly, then they put each in the wrong spot in English. So it would be better to say, each student brought their own lunch. I put each at the very beginning before the noun, but you could also put it before the verb, depending on the sentence. Students each brought their own lunch. Notice how each changes the whole sentence structure. It's not just a word-for-word swap. Here's another quick example. They each went to each their rooms. And the correct version would be, they each went to their own rooms. Each. Point 2. The singular plural trap. Now, here's where it gets tricky for a lot of Japanese speakers. It's something that trips up almost everyone. When you use each at the beginning of the sentence, the noun must be singular. So you can't say, each students brought their lunch, because it's got an S, it's plural. You have to say, each student brought their lunch. Why is this so hard for everyone? I guess because in Japanese, sorezore doesn't change the way you write the noun at all. Gakusei stays gakusei, no matter whether there is one or many. But English makes you choose singular with each student or plural with students each. So let's just recap those sentences. Each student brought their lunch. The students each brought their lunch. Point 3, each other. I've also found that some people are confused with how to use each other. Well, me and Margaret, each other sent in postcards, like to win a prize. Sorezore in Japanese can cover 2 completely different ideas in English. Okay, so for individual actions, we use each. This is for one person doing one action by themselves. However, for mutual actions, you use each other. That means one person does something for one person, and then the other person does something for the other person. Let me show you what I mean. The students introduced each to the class. Now, for an individual action, we would say, the students each introduced themselves to the class. That's one person doing one action. Or for mutual action, the students introduced each other to the class. They took turns in introducing each other. Here are the key differences. Each is used for separate individual actions by different people. Each other is for reciprocal actions between people. Reciprocal. Check out this video to find out more about reciprocate. We all had different things for lunch, so it was a bit of a free-for-all in the kitchen. So you can see I didn't use something awkward like we each had our respective lunches, but if we were using each, then it would be we each had something different for lunch. Also, a free-for-all is a situation where there are no rules, organization, or control. So everyone does whatever they want, often which creates chaos or disorder. We often see this at, for example, the January sales in the shops. People are just going crazy. It's a free-for-all. Are you big Christmas people? It's the best time of the year. We all really push the boat out and buy each other presents. There you go. So, big Christmas people, it means you love Christmas. Are you big Christmas people? Now, did you notice how I used buy each other gifts or buy each other presents? So this is the kind of sentence that I find a lot of people have trouble with in Japan, to buy each other presents, to do something for each other. So really recommend you try and get this one mastered because it's super useful and so many people make mistakes with it. So now the other expression in this part here was to push the boat out. So when you push the boat out, it means you have like a big celebration. You're not afraid of spending money. You just have like a big party. We really push the boat out. But if you say to someone, listen, you don't have to push the boat out. Just a small party is fine. But I love to push the boat out. Oh yeah, bring it on. The customers each complained about how bad the service was and vowed never to come back. Because we are talking about the plural, customers, then the word each is placed between the noun and the verb. If we were focusing on each customer individually, we would say, each customer complained. Now, the verb vow is also like a serious promise, and actually it's used in a negative way quite a lot. To vow never to do something. It's also used in wedding ceremonies when the happy couple say their vows. Every YouTube channel has its own vibe, which is usually down to the way it makes you feel. So in this case, we can use every or each, but a lot of times every sounds the best or just kind of flows more naturally. When we talk about the vibe, we just mean the feeling or the way it makes you feel. You can say, this coffee shop has a great vibe, or your living room has such a nice vibe, that kind of thing. What do you and your best friend do for each other? Let me know down in the comments. So remember, it's a reciprocal thing. You do it for each other. For instance, you look after your friend's house when they're on holiday, watering the plants. And when you go on holiday, your friend takes care of your plants. They water your plant. It's a reciprocal thing that you do for each other. That kind of thing, yeah? For me, my good friend Steve, we always buy gifts for each other at Christmas and New Year. I pretty much know what he's going to buy me, and he knows what I'm going to buy him, but it's all fun. 日本語にはとっても便利な日本語には 日本語には、日本語にはすごく便利な言葉が、日本語にはすごく便利な